Kia ora, heavy rain and some snowfall on the cards for those southern parts of the country, but up north things generally look to be staying dry but rather cloudy as we head through the night time. It's these southern areas which are going to bear the brunt of this unsettled weather, with this slow moving feature draped across the lower half of the South Island as we head through the rest of today for Thursday and also through in towards Friday morning. Now the heaviest rainfall piling in towards parts of Westland and Fiordland, but on the other side of the hills that moisture and that rainfall mixes with the cold air, bringing down some snowfall through parts of north and south and central Otago and also up in towards Canterbury. So there are some heavy snowfall warnings in place as well. For the North Island though, you can see plenty of dry weather through the night time tonight. Some nice clear skies out towards the east, while things are much cloudier on the western side. Down south though, we'll keep hold of that slow moving feature across Otago and Canterbury through the night time, bringing that heavy snowfall across those higher parts, above about 400 metres, seeing the heaviest snowfall there. And you can see this next area of low pressure pushes that rainfall in towards Westland as well. So there are some heavy rain warnings and some heavy snow warnings already in place for those lower parts of the South Island. You can see the heaviest rainfall through parts of Fiordland, north of Doubtful Sound, and Westland, south of Hearth. We could find as much as 130 to 160 millimetres of rainfall through there, while the heaviest snowfall is out on the eastern side of the Southern Alps, with the heaviest snow above 400 metres. But you can see that area extends right the way up from, say, Lumsden to about the Rakaia River. Now we are going to keep hold of that warning for snowfall across the southern parts of Canterbury right the way through to about 3 p.m. on Friday, and that will be impacting some of those higher roads. So places like the Lindis Pass, really worth taking extra care, extra caution and keeping up to date with those road conditions as we head through the night time tonight, Thursday into Friday. Now if we take a little bit of a look up in towards Friday, we are going to find there's a bit more in the way of weather pushing on towards the South Island. You can see that next area of low pressure keeps that wet weather feeding on towards the western coast, but also wrapping that rain on towards the eastern side as well. Some of that fairly heavy, I think, for a time around the tops of the Alps. So we have got a heavy rain watch for the ranges of Westland, generally cloudy and fairly wet there. For the North Island, we'll keep hold of a fair bit of cloud, but it's not really until the end of the day we start to find that rainfall pushing through in towards parts of Taranaki and down towards Wellington as well, but generally a cloudier story up across the North Island. If we take a bit of a closer look at the North Island in terms of weather, it's the more settled spell, but a fairly cloudy story for many of us. Perhaps the best of the brightness out towards Tairafti, but even here I think that cloud will thicken up through the daytime. As we head in towards the evening, you can see the showers start to push in towards Waikato, Waitomo, down towards Horowhenua as well, even in towards Wellington. And by the end of the day, we'll start to find those showers turn to longer spells of rain as this next band of wet weather runs towards us, perhaps with some heavier falls around the tops of Tauruas and the tops of Taranaki Monga. But I think for many spots, places like Auckland, it's really the cloud through the daytime and just a chance of perhaps an evening, afternoon shower and a bit of another windy one down towards Wellington. In terms of our temperatures, we're looking at highs of around about 18 degrees Celsius in Auckland and around about 11 or so for your minimum temperatures. Now, down on the South Island, we have got those watches and warnings in place. So head along to the Met Service website for more information on those. But you can see we start off with that front draped across the country, keeping a fair bit of rain on the western coast. But even out towards the east, it stays cloudy and wet and still without showers and snow across those central parts of the region, so up in towards the Canterbury High Country. Now that snow level could be down around about 200 or 300 metres for places like Dunedin first thing, but lifting as we head through the daytime. But I think we are going to keep hold of some pretty cloudy and wet weather in places like Dunedin through most of the daytime. And even for places like Christchurch, I think it will be a case of the rain becoming more persistent through the morning time before it starts to ease off again in the evening. You can see that gap in the rain just up towards, like I say, Kaikoura after that first sort of rain is cleared through, and then some clearer skies back with us. But pretty unsettled with the low pressure just crossing the country and with that risk of snowfall. Like I said, there are those snow warnings in place, so do take extra care about those higher roads and for your travelling around first thing on Thursday. Places like Canterbury will keep hold of that snow risk even through in towards Friday daytime as well. So head along to the Met Service website for the latest information on those forecasts. In terms of our temperatures, with some cold air over us, unsurprising, we're looking at our temperatures struggling to get into double digits across the southern parts of the island. 8s and 9s, places like Queenstown and Timaru. Up north though, you're still in that warmer air. So places like Nelson and Blenheim, 15 and 16 are your top temperatures for the day. As we head on in towards the weekend, it's still looking pretty unsettled. For the Northland, it's your turn with the rainfall as we head through Saturday, as that front just runs across the country and some heavier falls perhaps running in towards those northern areas as well. Still keeping hold of a bit of an onshore feed of air in towards Canterbury, so I think you'll keep hold of a bit of cloud across those eastern parts of the Southland, but generally a little bit more of a settled spell for Saturday. Not brilliant, but I think we're still going to find not as wet as we see through the next couple of days. And in towards Sunday, we start to see that next area of low pressure around towards us, bringing another burst of rain and even some snowfall back on towards the Southland as well. And a bit of an eye-opener for what's happening as we head in towards the start of next week. Those winds turning southwesterly, bringing some colder air right the way across New Zealand. So a bit of a cool start to next week. And that's it from me. But as always, you can find all the latest forecasts, watches and warnings over at metservice.com.